Hello everyone, good afternoon. I hope everyone's doing well. So here today I'm just going to do a quick review over the paper we just did in our class today. Now the paper is going to be the paper 3, and more or less we're going to be covering website authoring, which is the main thing that we did for this term. The paper is from February-March 2021 and it's a total of 80 points. The part that we're going to look web authoring starts from task number 1, where you have to create a new word process document, followed by task 2, where is the part of image editing. Followed by that, we have task 3, which is the main component we'll be looking at, which is the web page, which totals out to a number of 49 points for this component only. So we're going to go through each and every one. We're not going to be doing spreadsheet. We already have some videos online for that on the channel. So let's just take a look from task number 1 and following through to everything else that we have in this question paper. So first off, these are the files you've been given, and from task 1, we've been told to create a new word process document. So I have my file already here. So I'm just going to right click in an empty space, head on to new, and then select a Microsoft Word document. From this part on, I'm just going to take a look at the file name, which is M21 evidence, small letters, underscore, which is going to be followed by my center number, underscore, and then the candidate number. We have an example here, and again, it's an example, not exactly what you should be writing. So for us, this is going to be the file. I'm just going to say M21 evidence as we've been told, underscore, and then we're going to add our center number. So for us, it's going to be, for now, XX123, which is a temporary one that I'm showing throughout this video, and then underscore 2026, which I will be using as my candidate number. I'm going to open this up now, and once it is opened, close this, go into your header, type your candidate details, and then, add your center number, and then 2026 as the candidate number. And then we're going to have an evidence 1. So I'm just going to type that right now, and then we're going to add that one afterwards. So what's the first step after that? After we've done everything, we've made sure that we have our candidate details. We've already saved the file as we should. The next part is for us to create a folder called Ocean. So Ocean needs to be created here. So right click in an empty space, go to new and folder here. Ocean is going to be written full on small letters. So small letters, Ocean, there we go. And following that, we're going to locate the following files and then store them in the folder. We have banner, Ocean, there's 2, CSS and .txt, spinner, which is going to be our video, and then we have a txt.txt, well, text.txt, sorry, and then wheelshark.jpg. We're going to take all of these, so banner, Ocean, spinner, text, and wheelshark. We're going to take a copy of all of those, and then we're going to paste them all here within the folder we just created. After that, we've been told to open the file wheelshark in the graphics package, and then we're going to edit the image with the following here. So we have wheelshark here, right click on the file, go to open with, and under open with, we're going to select paint, not paint 3D, but paint only. Once it's open there, we're going to carry out the following steps that we have here down the list. So we've been told that we are going to edit the image by rotating it 90 degrees. And I believe the picture's open. So this is our image. You at times need to zoom in and out. And when we get to the part, especially what I'm referring to here, when cropping, especially this last step here, zooming in is better so that you can make sure to get the proper dimensions that you've been requested. But that's for later down the line. Let's start step by step. Rotate the image 90 degrees clockwise. So for this part, rotate is up here. Click on this button, and rotating it right 90 degrees is rotating it clockwise. So there we go. Following this, we're going to reflect it or flip the picture or image horizontally. Below rotate, we have flip or reflect, and we're going to flip it horizontally. So as you can see, we have wheelshark here, and once I flip it horizontal, it's going to be going onto the other side. Now after that, what's the next step? We are going to crop it so that we remove the text. The text is whale shark again. And for us to actually remove it, we have these squares that will be found around our image. Okay. For some of you guys, you might only see the squares on the right hand side, bottom right, and at the bottom part. So make use of the center bottom part. Click and hold and drag it above the text that we are going to crop. So doing this will actually crop your image and remove what you don't want from the picture. And once that is done, the text is removed. The next step here is so that we're going to crop it so that all the whale shark is visible. And the cropped image is 500 pixels wide, which is our width. And it's by 1200 pixels high, which is our height. Now for this part, notice that we have dimensions here, and as I'll be cropping, you'll see a few dimensions on this end as well. And it is on this side that we're going to make use to show the proper dimension. So right now our image is 1080 by 1272 pixels, and we are going to crop the image so that we get 500 here, which is our width, by 1200 here, which is our height. So we only need the whole of the whale shark. So that means we're going to crop starting from here up until the fin that is found here. There we go. And already we are at 707, which is the width. And I am going to zoom in so that I have the proper dimension when I am going to crop on this end. And make sure when you're going, you are cropping to get 500 pixels exactly, like so. And as you can see, now this has changed. I was using this end for me to actually get it to 500 pixels. If you didn't catch it, let's check on this end. So now I have the 500 pixels wide. Now I'm going to go for 1200 pixels high. So at the bottom, I cannot actually crop this. So the main reason is because that's the tail, the tail of the shark. So we're going to go from the top and make sure to zoom in as much as you can, because this will help you to get the exact dimension. So 1272, we need to get it to 1200. Keep your eye here. I'm going to take the top square, and as you can see, once I start holding, I get the dimensions, and as I go down, the dimensions also goes down along with it. So now I'm aiming for 1200, like so. Once I get that, let go of your mouse and you should be on the perfect dimension as requested. And this is how our image should look like once we're done with that part. If that's okay, what's the next part? We've been told to save this image in the ocean folder, which we created here at the top. And we're going to save it in a PNG format with a new file name, which is ws underscore followed by your candidate number. So let's get that done. File, save as PNG picture, which is here the PNG format. Click on that, and at this point we're going to go to our folder, and mind you, I'm already in it, but I'm going to make sure I am in the correct file. So therefore, let me just double check. My folder is in S5 2026 practice 4, and then so on and so forth. So let's go and get that file. So desktop, I have S5 Web 2026. It's in practice, if I remember correctly. Yeah, practice 4. There we go. And then this is the file, this one as well, and Ocean is the folder that I'm working in. The file name is going to be changed to ws underscore and then add my candidate number. The save as type should be PNG, so that's fine. Let's press save, and then we can continue on. Once this is done, you can feel free to close, and then you can check to see if the file is in your folder like so. If it is, that's good. Then we can move on. We've been told to display the contents of the Ocean folder, showing the folder name, all file names, file extensions, image dimensions, and file sizes. For us to display this properly, you can simply head to view here, or you can right click in an empty space as well. You have view there. So click on view, and you're going to show or view everything as content. Showing it as content, you should get your file names, you should get your file extensions, but I will show you just in case you don't have that. The type is there. You have the frame width and height if needed, and then you have the dimensions for your picture. This was the original picture with a 1454 by 1080 dimension. This is the new one with a 500 by 1200 dimension. And then the file sizes are here. Now, for the main thing, if you don't have your file extensions, and by the way, your file extensions are the .jpg, .css, and so on and so forth after each file name. If you don't have that, you will head to View, go to Show, and then select File Name Extensions. If you don't have the check here, click on this button to get it. And I'm just going to show you how it looks like without the file name extension. So click here, no file name extensions towards the end. And once I click on View, go to Show and select File Name Extensions, I get everything there. And at this point, I've been told to take a screenshot of your Ocean folder, and I'm going to place it in my evidence document. I'm going to make sure that I have the folder name, I have all file names, file extensions, image dimensions, the file sizes, and all of them are clearly visible. That means Winky Shift S. We're taking it from the top where we have our folder, and I'm going to screenshot everything that is needed. From that top, the folder name on the top, and everything within that file. So I'm going to come here and paste my first evidence. You should resize as necessary if need be. And I'm going to add my evidence number 2 just in case I'm going to use it for afterwards. What's next? Question paper. We've been told that at this point, we're going to create a web page and a style sheet to promote ocean conservation. The web page and style sheet must work in any browsers. All color codes provided in the source files must be hexadecimal. Make sure your style sheet contains no HTML, and make your HTML and style sheet as efficient as possible. And create in your Ocean folder a web page called ocean.htm. So first things first, I cannot create a new web page from here. I can, but I'm not going to show you guys how to do this part. Instead, what you want to do, search for web on your computer. You will get Microsoft Expression Web 4. If you have it installed, that's fine. Once it's done and opened, you will probably have an untitled one up top here. Be in the design view just to make sure that whatever I'm going to do next, you guys can also see it. But just in case, if you don't have the untitled one and it looks something like this, click on this page here to create a new page for you to use, and you should get back the untitled one.html for you to work with. Now, I'm going to create it, and that means you're going to go to File, Save As. Make sure to not save as in My Websites. You guys should be saving this in the folder that you are working in. So mine is this folder here, this one as well, Practice 4, this folder, Ocean, and within this folder, which is Ocean, I am simply going to be renaming the file to ocean.htm. So ocean.htm, save that, good. And at this point, we shall continue on with the rest. We've been told that this web page must be created using a single table and works in all browsers. The table must fit 80% of your browser window. The table must have a structure as shown in the diagram. So the diagram here, which is our table, and it should fit 80% of the browser window, we need to count how many columns, how many rows we have. Let me use my marker. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 rows. Whereas columns, I'm going to use the green marker. We have 1, 2, 3, and then 4 columns. So 5 by 3, 5 rows, 4 columns. How do we add that? Table, insert table. Click there. We have rows, we have 5 rows, and columns, we have 4 columns. Here, where we see specify width is where we are going to enter the 80%. Make sure it is in percent. And below the table, I always ask you guys to make sure that you check for something here at the bottom. That is the few instructions that's mentioned. Each table cell is identified with a letter. So that's A, to H. Some dimensions are shown. So we have some width and some height, and there's nowhere that we don't have any of those dimensions. These must be set in percentage values and not in pixels. I think that is definitely apparent. We can see it there. The cell contents shown in the diagram must not appear on your final web page. That means you're not supposed to see any letters or any width or height equal to whatever percentage. Then we have the table borders must not appear on the final web page. So what do? Once we're done with this, we don't have any borders. That's fine. Let's start merging. Merging, we have A, it's merged across all 4 row columns. So modify after you right click into merge cells. We have B, it's merged across 3. There we go. Merged. We have D, merged across 3. E, F, G, that's the same. We leave it as it is. H, it's merged across the 4. So let's do that as well. And I did not miss it. C is merged here. Let's modify and merge that part as well. So now let's go and add the dimensions for each and every cell. The height, let's right click in cell A, go to cell properties. We have specify width and height. Add whatever you've been told to add. First one is the height, it's 15%. So specify height only, set it into percentage. We set that as 15. Press OK. What's next? B, we have the width and the height. So let's go do that. Cell properties, we have width and height. Make sure it's all in percent. The first part, it's 75%. So let's add that. And the second part, it's 45%. Let's press OK. I'm going to go to C right now. So C is here. And we've been told it's going to be set to 25%. So right click there, cell properties, and the width is 25%. Make sure we set it to percent again. Okay, following this, we have D. D is set to a height of 10%. So let's do that. Height in percent, 10%, done. And for those that have the same dimensions like E, F, G, you can simply highlight all 3, right click on them, cell properties, specify your width and height for both or whichever you have to add in percent, of course, for this one, 25 by 20%. There we go. Press OK. There we go. And lastly, we have H. This is also 10%. So that's a height in 10%. Done. And whatever you did here, you should also see them in your code for each and every cell. If that's done, we can move on to the next step. The next step is step number 3, where we are going to place in cell A the image of the M21 banner.jpg. To make this simple, just head to your folder, see the picture you're going to add, copy it, head to your web page, and in the cell, just paste the picture there. You should get this window here. And in alternate text, all you have to do is type in image, or you type in picture of banner, or the name of the picture that you're going to be adding. So this is a banner. I say image of banner. Done. And this is the banner we have for this web page. Next, let's move on. In B, so B is literally just below here. We are going to place in cell B a placeholder to fill the width of the cell containing the video clip M21 spinner.mp4. We are going to display an automated text-based error message if the browser does not support this video type. So that's a lot to take in. Let's take it bit by bit. So in cell B, I'm already there, and I already know that I'm going to be adding a video. So here's the technique or the way I taught you guys. First off, click in the cell where you're going to be adding the video, type in video, then highlight the text you just typed in and go to code. Doing this will let you know where the video is. So after the more than here, before the V in video, press enter to skip to the next line. Then in the same place, add a less than, click after the O in video and add a more than. Doing this will give you your closing tag. We have an opening tag for the video, and then we have a closing tag for the video. Now, the closing tag, we are going to bring it down so that we have 2 empty lines in the middle. One line, two lines in the middle. Now the two lines, we're going to make use of it so that we can add the structure of our video code for it to play in our browser. So below the video opening tag, we have a source tag, which is a self-closing tag. So it doesn't have a closing tag there. So that's okay. And below the source, we are going to have our error message. Now for the error message, this is what you're going to do. You're going to simply type in the browser does not support this video type. That's exactly what you have to type. And this should be the same for each and every paper you have. So therefore, where I have my last line, the browser, does not support this video type. Done. That's it. Okay. But we're not done yet. We have a few details we have to add. And simply by doing this, let me just save this and I'll open the web page so that you guys can see what I have. Okay. As you can see, it's empty right now. There's nothing. We'll double check each step we do. So after we have this is the start of what we need. And in the video opening tag, we need to add a few things. What do we need to add? First up, we need to fill the placeholder for the cell. We're going to add the placeholder so it fills the width of the cell. This is done by simply going to the video. Since we're dealing with the width, type width, enter equal. You'll get quotations automatically. Add 100% there so that the whole placeholder of the video tag fills the width of the cell. And after that, we're going to add controls. Controls is important here because this is what we need to make sure that we have a few buttons on our video. I'm going to save this and I'm going to show you guys what we get now after doing this. We have this. This is the placeholder for the cell. That is fine. Now, what's next? We head into the source tag. In the source tag, first off, add src. src is going to have an equal following it. We get the quotations automatically. But what do we add in src? We are going to add our video name. So the video name is m21spinner.mp4. So let's go back and check it. Within the quotations, m21spinner.mp4. Are we done? No, we're not. Jump out of the quotations and after it, add a space. We have to specify the type for the video. So type equals, we get quotations automatically. Also, add video slash and we add mp4 towards the end. This is so that we specify the video type of the video we're adding. And if you're done, press save. And with what we have here, this should enable our video to play. So this is what I had before. And once I refresh, this is the video. And if I press play, this is how it's done. Okay. And as you can see, there are a few dolphins in the oceans. That's fine and dandy. And this is the video playing. Now, I'm just going to add on to this. Okay. So there are times when you're doing such a question, you're not just being told to simply fill the width. You've not been told to simply make sure there's only controls. There are times where you'll be told to loop the video, or you'll be told to autoplay the video. Okay, these are two things I want to make sure you guys understand because it's not covered here in this paper. So if you want to loop your video, and by the way, most of these things go into the video opening tag. Make reference to the notes I gave you guys last time in the group and you should be fine. So video opening tag, which is what we have here at the top. This is our opening tag. Now, before controls, usually, if you want the video to loop, you simply add loop. That's it. Without the equals, without the quotation. If you do this, and then you check, I already saved, I just did Control S. if I refresh this and I press play, the video, the 5 seconds should elapse and the video should restart again and again and again. So like you see here, if you take a look at the time, 5 seconds goes back to 0. That means the video is looping. This is what you do if you want the video to loop. But what about autoplay? So autoplay, there are two things you need to know. One, autoplay needs muted for it to work properly. So that means in our video opening tag, we're gonna have autoplay followed by, without the quotations and equal, muted. Controls needs to be there. Okay, if you have autoplay muted, save it, refresh the web page, and again the video is paused, and I want to get you guys to take a look at this volume. Once I refresh, the video plays automatically and the audio is muted. This is so that the video plays automatically. The video needs to be muted so that it will play automatically. And once I refresh, it goes like this. Now, just in case, maybe one day you'll be asked to do both. If you have to do both, it doesn't matter which comes first, if it's autoplay muted, but if you add loop into here, you save, you go to your web page and you refresh, will autoplay, and then it will continue playing infinitely until you actually close the video. Okay, so this is how you guys will play the video, loop it, or even autoplay. And mind you, controls needs to be there. And usually I like to add most of these specifications before controls. Controls is the last thing you need in the video opening tag. But for this question, it is not required. So therefore, I'm going to skip it and move on to the next part. Next part, we've been told to add the image. So let's simply add the image here. So let's go do that. The image, head back to design. Image is going to go in cell C, and this will be this picture here. And I just copied it. I just used a shortcut, but let me copy it here properly. Go here, and in this cell, paste it. This is image of a whale shark. Done. And that's the image of our whale shark. Very done. Very well. Then place inline style attributes into the HTML so that each image fits the width of the table cell with its aspect ratio maintained. What does this mean? Right click on your picture, head to picture properties. You will get this. Or double click on the picture, you will get the same thing. Head to appearance. What you want to do, remove height, select percent, and then add 100 for it to be in percentage. Now I want to bring your attention to here. This picture does not fit the whole width. So this will be a kind of an indicator for us to see. So go to appearance, then remove here, select percent, or don't need to select percent actually, but percent needs to be selected here, and then add 100%, press OK, and as you see the picture moved, that means it has fitted itself within this cell. We'll do the same thing for the second image. Go to appearance, remove what's there in percent, and then 100% here. Very well done. Save, and then let's just check, refresh the page, and then there we have it. There we go. This is how it should look like. After that, what else do we have for us to do? Next part, in cell D, place the contents of the file ocean.txt. That is here, ocean.txt. Just copy the file, head back, and the cell that we need to add it in is this one. So just to confirm, cell D, yeah, it's just below the video. So let's do that. Just there before the 3 separated cells, so EFG. So good. So let's add it here. I'm gonna paste what I just copied, and because my question has specified something, we need to display this as 2 paragraphs. That means we're gonna add this as normal paragraphs with line breaks. That's fine. We have 1 line, 2 lines. We can simply separate it if you want, but that is fine for this part here. If it's like this, it's better. Now, then as a third paragraph, add the text web page updated by, followed by your candidate details. So from here, I'm just going to press enter twice so that it's 3 paragraphs separated. Web page updated by, full colon, and then candidate details. And mind you, just because this is bold doesn't mean it should be bold. Just leave it the way it is. So web page updated by, add your candidate details. So type in your name, your surname, and then I'll just add this as my center number, and then I use 2026 right there. Okay, so there we have it. And these texts, we need to apply style P to it all. So highlight them all. You see none up here. Click on that, and paragraph P is there. Set. There we go. There's no changes because it's a body text, but this is paragraph. The style needs to be applied. If that is done, let's go to 6. Place in cell E. So we're talking about these 3 cells, E, F, G. So E, we're going to add species. So species, next cell, ocean waste. So type that in. Next cell, we have contact us to help. Contact us to help. Awesome. Done. And all of these texts should have H1 applied to them all. Wonderful. And then question 7, place in cell H the contents of M21 text. So cell H is the last one at the bottom here. And then text, we're going to do the same as we did for ocean. Copy the file and then just paste it there. It's not been specified if it's going to be paragraph, so we're just going to add it as a plain text. So press OK, and there's our text. I believe there's a style to apply, and that is H2. Okay, so let's just highlight everything that we just added and then apply H2 to it. Good. So after that, attach the style sheet, M21 Ocean. So let's do that. So on the right hand side, you should have this sidebar. And if you don't have it, you can just go to panels and select apply styles and manage styles. The manage style is what you want for it to get here. But we need this so that we can attach style sheet. Okay, click on attach style sheet. We are going to browse for the file we're going to be working in. So again, desktop, go to your folder that you're working in. I have a lot of folders that I'm in, and I just went into the wrong folder. Practice 4, this folder into Ocean. This is the one. Open that, press OK, and then you should see the styles that's been added into this one. So this part, save your web page. So I'm just going to save from here, save or Control S, and then let's just refresh to see the changes we've just added. These are the changes, and supposedly there's a style sheet, but I know that there's the next part we have to do, which is this one. So for step number 9, we have been told that we are going to open and edit the style sheet called m21ocean.css. And this is to meet the following specifications. So this is what we have here in this box there. And we have to carry each one of these steps out. Now, for you to start, let's just go over the first step. Key thing to keep in mind, we are going to open and edit the style sheet that we've been given here. So we head into our source file. We have the file here. So let me just put on back my file name extension so that you can see it's a .css. So we are going to either double click on this file or right click to open, or open with Microsoft Expression Web 4. Either option is the same thing, so you can do either one of the 3. I'm just going to be going to double clicking on the file, and then it will open the file that we have here. So now let's go back to the question and see what we have to do. So for this part, let's just go over each and every one of these steps first, and then we'll carry each one out, starting with the first one. So we've been told to center align all tables within the browser window. Okay, that's the first thing. Second, we are going to set the background for the web page so that it has a color with a blue component of D5, red component of 9A, and then lastly a green component of AB. to note is that this order of blue, red, and green is the incorrect order, especially when we have been told from the top first instruction that all color codes except those provided in the source file must be in hexadecimal. What does that mean? Sorry. So for hexadecimal, one thing to take note is that it is actually in the order of red, green, and then lastly blue. In other words, it is R, G, and B. Now, for us to actually make this make sense and the correct way for you to write this, you need to have a hashtag first, because the hashtag declares the following code to be in hexadecimal color code format. So if we say that it's going to be red, green, and then blue, which is RGB, this order that we have right here is actually incorrect. Therefore, the proper order and the correct order needs to be red, green, blue. We're going to have 9A, AB, and then lastly D5. Doesn't matter if the letters are small letters or capitals, but if it's written with a hashtag in front, it should be okay. All right? So this you guys need to keep in mind. Next part is that we are going to set the font styles H1, H2, and then the paragraph style so that the browser selects and displays the font Arial. If this font is not available, the browser selects and displays the font Verdana. If neither of these fonts is available, the browser should display its default sans serif font. And to note, we have to know that we are going to set each of these fonts as black. Each of these fonts means H1, H2, and then the paragraph style. Then set H1 to be center aligned, and then lastly set the H2 and the paragraph style as fully justified. We have to do all of this while also keeping in mind the color codes for the background. So what do we have to do? Let's take a look at the CSS first. We already have a few things already created. We have the table style already created. We have the border, border collapse, border spacing, and the minimum width that is already there. Followed by TD, which is table data, and we have the border for it also there. Next, we have H1, H2, and paragraph. Each was created individually. We are going to center align the tables within the browser, set the color for the background, set fonts, 3 fonts and a color for 3 styles, H1, H2, and the paragraph style. And individually for H1, I'm going to center align the text. And then lastly, H2 and the paragraph style both needs to be set to fully justify. Let's deal with the first one. For you to center align the tables within the browser, for this one, you have to make use of the table style. We already have one created, so there's no need for us to create a new one. Now, I want to bring your attention to here. Okay, so this right-hand side, you should have this management of your styles here. The same styles we have listed here, table TD, H1, H2, and P paragraph, are shown right there. We can also attach a style sheet or create new style sheet right here on top. Or any style that we have there, we can simply modify it as well. Now, since we already have table already created, we can just modify it for us to center align all tables that's created within this CSS to be centered. So we're going to right click on the table style that's there, click on modify. Once we're there, we should get a window that's going to enable us for us to do whatever we need, which is this one. We have several categories, but the main category we need to focus on for this question here is going to be the following. We need to look at your margin right and your margin, left, okay? And both of them needs to be set to auto, okay? Auto needs to be set for both margins so that a table can automatically align itself within your browser window. So how do we get to margin right and the margin left? For that, we have to head to box within the category. Make sure your selector at the top here is table because that's the one we modified, and select box. We have padding and then we have margin. the one that we're looking for. We have same for all, meaning that if we write anything here, it will apply to each and every one of these margins. But we don't want that. We want the right margin and the left margin only. So remove the check that we have here, and simply you can type it in, or you can just simply select auto from the drop down list right there. And at the bottom here, we have a description or preview or whatever we just did. We have the margin right auto and the margin left auto added together here. And if we press on apply, we can just simply see it's added there, but we can just go on right ahead and press OK. And if that is done, that is okay. That means we can move on to the next step. Next step being, we are going to set the background. And keep in mind the color code, which is RGB, red, green, and blue. And don't be tricked by this format that's given right there, because they do it on purpose, just to confuse you guys and make sure you know what you're doing. So the background of the web page. For you to do this, you have to know that background for a web page is done on the body of the web page. And taking a look at the existing styles that we have right here, you can tell that we don't have the body style, which means we have to create a new style. Click on new style, and at the top here you have .new style 1. Take a note that if you have a dot at the start, that means this is a class, and we are not creating a class, we're creating a new style. So you can simply either go on the drop down and select the body from the list, or simply type it in yourself. Make sure it's small letters there, because there's nothing here that is actually in capital letters. So body needs to be small letters or lowercase, and let's go and do the background. So obviously background color should be found in the background category. Click there and we should see background color. So what you can do is, since we already know what's the color code we have to add, so hashtag 9A, AB, and then D5, you can just simply add it. So like here, so hashtag 9A, AB, and then D5 lastly. And we can see that we get a color code right there. This is the way I advise you guys to do it. And of course, we have the hashtag there, which makes it easier for you guys to understand, right? Or just to input it in. If that's done, we're already done with the background. We can just simply press OK, and then we have the background color added for us right there and there. So if that's done, let's move on to the next step. So the next one is for us to set the font for styles H1, H2, and paragraph. And as noted, the first one we have to add is Arial. And if it is not available, Verdana is the second one. And if Arial and Verdana is not available, sans serif font is the one that we are going to add. So how are we going to do this? We are going to create a new style again, because we want to attack all three styles all at once, so that we don't have to repeat ourselves over and over again. So we've been told to make our CSS and HTML efficient, so we don't have to create new one. So create a new style, and we are going to create a font family, more or less several styles together for us to add several fonts under it. So here in the sector, make sure to remove the full stop. We're going to type H1, comma, H2, comma, and then P towards the end there. So if we do it this way, we are attacking all three styles all together, and whatever we set within this new style window is going to apply to all three. So here on the font category, we have font family. We are going to type Arial, comma, space, Verdana, comma, space, and lastly, sans serif, exactly how we've been given it in our question paper. I know I've written capital S, but for this one, I think it doesn't matter. But if you want, yes, you can just have sans serif with the lowercase. Done. And before we forget, we also have this part here, which is to set each of these fonts to be black. So that's a font color. So font color is right there. And if you want black, you can just simply select it from the list we have there. And of course, you can see it's hashtag with 6 zeros right there and there. So with that, we have created the fonts for H1, H2, and paragraph altogether under a font family. Good. So now let's move on to the next one. This one is H1 individually by itself. So H1 only is going to be set to center aligned. So let's go back here. We already have H1 there. This has already been created. So therefore, we can just modify it. And once modified, we can just go to block, because that's where we are going to find text align. So drop it down and then click on center, press OK. And then we have font size, which was already there, and text align, which is supposed to be center, exactly how we've been given. Good. Let's move on. And the last part here, we're going to set H2 and paragraph style as fully justified. So H2 and paragraph style all together. It's similar to what we did here. So that means we have to create a new style for this part as well. Therefore, let's just create a new style. From here, remove everything on the top, H2, comma space, and then paragraph style. This is going to be set to fully justified. And remember, we just did alignment. So that means we go to block, text align, drop down here, and justify is there for us to make use of it. So press OK, and that should be all she wrote from this part here. Good. So let's just go over each and everything. So center align tables, margin left, auto, margin right auto, margin left auto. This is done within the table style right there. Then we have the background color. So that is set on the body style right there. And then the font, this one we created it so that we can add a font family under it alongside the color for the fonts. Then we have H1. We already had H1 created, so we just added onto it. And then lastly, H2 and paragraph style, fully justified. This one we had to create a new one. And of course, we can see each and every one of those right there again. Okay, so that is what we had to do here. And let's look at the following step, which is here. We've been told to add your name, center number, and candidate number as a comment at the start of the style sheet. Now, I'm just going to preface this here. To add a comment, you have to use the / and asterisk, write whatever you need to write, and then asterisk again, and then the /. The / needs to be on the sides, and then the asterisk needs to be after and before it. Meaning before your text and after your text is where you'll find the asterisk, and then the / are on the sides. So this is what we need to keep in mind whenever we're going to write a comment. So at the start is here on line number 1. So we're going to have a / and you're going to see a change in color with the text I'm going to be adding. I add a / and I add asterisk. Once I do this, you can see that everything after I just add those two things turns green. That means everything after here, after I've just added the asterisk, turns into a comment. So what I have to do now is I either have to close the asterisk with a / after that so that we can just close everything off. But it depends on you if you want to do this first and then type in your candidate details, okay? And then, of course, add your candidate number. But after that, you need to make sure to close up the comment so that it's only this part that's as a comment and the rest are your CSS codes as they should be. Because as a comment, your, or should I say, your compiler, that's a big word for you guys at this point, will not read anything that is a comment, sorry. Okay, if it's a comment, it won't pick it up, it won't create anything, and it's just like you just did nothing. You won't see anything on your web page, so make sure to close it off on the sides with the asterisk and /, of course. So keep this in mind. It's quite important to make sure you don't get it wrong, because trust me, you can get it wrong. So if that is done, let's save the style sheet in our Ocean folder. So let's just go and press save, because I believe it's already in my Ocean folder. Yes, it is. So I can just simply press save. That's done. And then take a screenshot to show the file name and all the contents of your style sheet. So I had my evidence created here. Let me just open it up again. Sorry. So this is going to be my second evidence. Let's just double check. Yeah, this is evidence number 2. And we are going to screenshot the whole thing that we have here. So Win key Shift S. And let's simply take a screenshot of what we have here. Once the screenshot is done, Let's simply add it under evidence number 2 right there. It's a bit big, but we can just reduce the size of that as well. Let's just make it not too big, but clear enough for us to see everything that's there. And under that, I'm just gonna simply add my third evidence. I think I'll just push it to the next page. Evidence, wow, what did I just write? Evidence 3, okay? And now let's see if we do have an evidence 3. So, oh yes, we do. So after that, we've been told to display the HTML source of your web page in your editor, and then take a copy of the HTML of your source web page and place this in your evidence document. This will be our third evidence. So that means, let's go back to our HTML. This, as you can see, we already have the style applied because we already applied the style sheet earlier on. So you can see the color already there, and a few things have changed. But we have to go to code, because code is where we need to be. If we want to do the third evidence for here, which is our HTML source, we have to take a copy of it. That means select everything from top to bottom, copy them all, and then simply paste it under your third evidence. I just did Control V, but I believe you guys know that. But one thing I would advise you guys to do is to remove the spacing between them, which means just simply come here, right there, and then remove the space after the paragraph, which will shrink everything much more. And then you can just simply remove the spacing that you have here, just to bring your code together a bit more, just to make things a bit more clear and easier, so that it doesn't take a lot of pages when you print out your evidence as well. So if that's done, that's okay. Let's just move on. I believe we do have a fourth evidence. Yes, we do. This still falls under step number 10. So let me just type in evidence number 4 right there. And then let's just add that as well as we go along with it. So the next evidence, we've been told to display the web page in our browser, and if necessary, we are going to resize it. This is so that all the page can be seen, all the text can be easily read, and the address bar is visible. So mind you, I'm right now in Microsoft Edge. The top that I have here is actually my address bar, and this also needs to be shown. And of course, place this in your evidence document, screenshots showing the web page in your browser. So I already have my browser open right there. Though I haven't seen the style sheet applied, that means I have to refresh. And of course, after refreshing, you can see everything is there for us to see. Now, how are we going to actually take a screenshot of this? Because if I decide to zoom out, the page only gets bigger and the text gets smaller. So that means I cannot do this. So what option do I have to give you guys? First off, you can just simply restore down from here. You can either pull this to the side, make sure it's half of your window, and then you can zoom out from here. If you do, you can also use your control on your keyboard and your scroll button just so that you can simply zoom in, zoom out. Sorry, I'm just going to bring it down one more, like maybe 33. We can have a few of the things here. And if I decide to, let's see if I can just make this a bit smaller, and we don't want to see one thing from here. And that one thing will be the scroll bar. We don't want to see the scroll bar, so we're gonna make sure to expand and resize as necessary until we cannot see that scroll bar. If we can see it, that means we're in the good spot, and we can take our screenshot from this point on, starting from the top and all the way till here in the bottom. And take note, I'm doing this from my computer, so I have my question paper right there. You guys won't have that, so no need to worry. You can just keep on working and do your thing as you should. I'm simply going to paste this. This is a picture. I'm just going to paste it, and I have everything there for my screenshot. If you want, you can increase the size again if you want, but I'm going to leave it as it is. It's big enough, and it's going to take most of my page if I actually decide to move it more. So if I'm done with this part, let me just maximize this part again. And then I believe that's about it. And the last step here is to simply print my evidence document, save and print. So I'm just going to simply save, and I'll print it as a PDF just so that you guys can have an idea on how it looks. I am going to print it to my practice 4 in the Ocean folder. So this is my evidence document so that you guys can have a reference point and see how it looks like after that. So let me just take a look. I should have it here in the Ocean folder. There we go. And this is my evidence document, how it looks. I have my candidate details at the top. It's important you guys have this. And then I have everything detailed out as it should. I have my HTML source as it should. And then I have my web page right then and there. So that's done. And that means we can just simply end everything here. So that's done, guys. And that should be work well done. And again, this whole thing is 49 points. 49 points from the start, from task number 2, where we had 6 points here. Well, this is 6 points only, but from task number 3, everything that we did totals out to simply 49 points. And that's a lot of points. So that's it, guys. I would like to thank you for actually going through. Take a look at the dolphins before you go. That means everything's working. So make sure you do well, revise well, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video. Don't forget to comment as well. So cheers, and I'll see you in the next one.